Clock in, clock in. Black got it, out there.
Yeah. That dumbass nigga. He already dead, it ain't no need to check his vitals, bitch. He already dead, it ain't no need to check his vitals. Yeah, crunch time, yeah, nigga, it's lunch time. Let go, crunch time, yeah, nigga, it's lunch time. Yeah, crunch time, yeah, nigga, it's lunch time. Let go, crunch time, yeah, nigga, it's lunch time. He dead.
Team Black got to stand up, man. Yeah. Right now, guys, we're going to take a look at probably one of the most not in the court conversations yet. Because this conversation is involving Melly's ex-girlfriend. Yes, the girlfriend who was texted the little text message or whatever. Yeah. So she's very important to the case. She hasn't showed up to court yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if she end up being a witness real soon. Cause like prosecutors ain't done bringing witnesses to the case, y'all. Y'all know in the next 2 days, man, it's finna get real hectic in that courtroom. We about to listen to what the lawyer has to say, and I'm pretty sure the lawyer is gonna more so not be with the prosecutors due to the fact that they in fear. Like they've been scared, like they was forced, you feel me? So I doubt the attorney's gonna go in there and be like, oh yeah, Shawty was up there capping for real, you feel what I'm saying? Y'all, they paid her off, you feel me? Cause that's what they really trying to say happened. Like they got paid off to cap and lie. But let's take a look at this video to see what the lawyer had to say.
That there is a lot at stake here with this case because the death penalty is on the table if Melly is convicted. You see, the law in Florida changed. It used to be you needed a unanimous vote for the death penalty. Well, now the law changed. All you need is an 8-4 vote by the jury to impose the death penalty. Pretty big change
crazy.
there. Okay, so now with all that background, I want to bring on a very special guest. I'm joined right now by attorney Christopher Barris. Now, Mr. Barris represents YNW Melly's ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, and her mother, Felicia Holmes, both named as witnesses in this case. Christopher, thanks so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Let's start from the beginning. How did you get involved in this case representing these two important witnesses?
I entered the case after the trial judge had issued writs of bodily attachment for both Miss Holmes and Miss Hamilton. Writs of bodily attachment, essentially bench warrants for their arrest as witnesses. There was another attorney involved before I came onto the scene. Before me, don't know his name, but he was intimidated by the prosecution.
What do you mean intimidated?
The state threatened him for refusing to disclose information about the whereabouts of Miss Holmes and Miss Hamilton.
Like, what's up with all of these people saying that they feel threatened and they scared? Like what's really going on? Like, is y'all really running down on people and damn near threatening them to help? Like, I was always tell, like, if they don't want to help, it's cool. You don't want to help me? All right, we straight. Not, oh, you don't want to help me? All right, I'm finna make you help me. Oh, I'm finna, you feel what I'm saying? I'm finna take all the peanut butter out your kitchen. Finna take all the bread. You ain't eating no more peanut butter and jelly sandwich ever. Like, that was going on. Y'all love me too. How that shit now? I need some milk, for real now.
Not that he knew. I don't believe he knew the whereabouts anyway.
Did the state, when you took over, did the state ever try to intimidate you, threaten you? Because we're going to get to that in a minute.
Yes. No, the state did not intimidate me. I've done dozens of murder trials. I've dealt with dozens of prosecutors, good ones, bad ones.
Damn.
Miss Bradley was very professional with me.
And you're referring, of course, to the prosecutor in this case, which is what I want to get to, because this is the real meat here, okay? So when Miss Holmes, your client, was called to the stand by the state, this was really interesting. Her testimony, she was being questioned about statements that she made to law enforcement that the defendant allegedly called her daughter on the night of the killing, saying that he was a victim of a drive-by shooting. But it got quite fiery between Miss Holmes and the prosecutor. Let's play a little portion of that.
And in terms of your appearance here today,
yes,
you don't want to be here.
You made me come here.
I did.
Yes, you
so
did.
And in terms of you were served with a subpoena
Never served me.
and so you were ordered by the court to show up.
You never served me originally. The state basically has me on a monitor. I have to go to my job with this. It's embarrassing. People think I'm a criminal. The state has run my life.
And in terms of your feelings and ill will towards the state and myself,
I just feel like you lock up innocent people.
have I ever any sort of physical violence against you?
No.
Do you have any written threats from me?
It's intimidating. You've intimidated me this whole time.
Quite fiery is an understatement. You get what I'm saying? It was way too hot out there. Way too hot out there. It was so hot, they even had to go to recess. And I bet y'all know what they was drinking. Milk. That's how hot it was, for sure. Fiery is an understatement. Extremely hot? Definitely.
Can you explain that?
Well, it started way back in 2018 when they were initially interviewed by the police. I believe it was Detective Moretti. He threatened both Miss Hamilton. Now, that's Miss Holmes' daughter, Mariah Hamilton, the other witness. That was issued a...
I ain't gonna lie now. Hold up. I'm a fashion type dude, man. Boy, she got that drip on, y'all. She got that drip on, y'all. She doing her thing now.
That was issued a writ of bodily attachment. There is a threat to both of them for arrest related to the homicides. Now, at that time, Miss Hamilton was only 17 years old, a juvenile. So, the impact on her was quite severe. And that's where the threat started. Now, I believe Miss Holmes said that she had never received a subpoena, a witness subpoena or a deposition subpoena. I have yet to see a witness subpoena or deposition subpoena for either Miss Holmes or Miss Hamilton. What happened was Miss Holmes went on a vacation. She was arrested on her way back to the United States. So she was arrested overseas. She spent some time in jail at that foreign location.
Oh, man.
She was extradited or brought back to Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, where she was detained in jail for another 3 or 4 days. There was an ankle monitor requirement when she finally did get in front of the judge, and she had to suffer that for several months now until her recent testimony at trial.
Well, just to clarify this, and just to make sure we're understanding, so you're saying it's not that she necessarily knew that she was being requested to testify at the court, because you're saying that she might not have gotten the appropriate paperwork. It wasn't intentional for her to do this, but she was, when she found out, she was then intimidated and threatened by the prosecution. I'm trying to make sense of it, because you know what the prosecution was saying is that she was deliberately trying to not appear in that courtroom, maybe as a way to protect YNW Melly or not be part of the case.
Now, look, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. You feel me saying? We ain't finna do all this extra lawyer talk, whoop, whatever the case may be. Now, as far as her doing it to protect Melly, I wouldn't say that. I would say she's doing it in all reality to protect herself and her family. Because at the end of the day, she not finna go out her way trying to do this and that and then let alone help them and receive no help in return. You feel what I'm saying? Like, she not trying to be involved in the case at all. So no, I do not feel like she was on a random vacation. Hell, she went on that vacation so she could get the hell away. No, I'm not going to the court. I don't want to have nothing to do with this. I'm staying out the way. Leave me alone. So as far as her being clueless about this, I wouldn't say she was real deal clueless, because like, come on, bro, let's be real. Yo ass randomly on vacation around the time, come on, you feel me? But as far as her doing it to protect anybody else or this and that, I don't fall for listening to that. You feel me? Do you know what happens when somebody don't want to have nothing to do with it and you still bring them up on the stand anyways? They give you no help. As a matter of fact, they do more than give you no help. They do the opposite of helping you, making you look like you lying.
Well, that's not really true. And this is why I was employed. I was employed to help the situation. I went to court at one point for both Miss Hamilton, Miss Holmes, to try to get the judge to, and this was, we had discussions, or I had discussions before with the prosecutor, Miss Bradley, about this. And I came to court and I spoke with the judge, and, I had both Miss Holmes and Miss Hamilton waiting in the wings to come into court. But the precondition for them to appear was, again, that the judge would have already vacated the arrest order that he had issued, previously. That didn't happen, and it's still yet to happen with respect to Miss Hamilton, who is still under threat of arrest.
Do you think the state is being disingenuous when they were pressing Miss Holmes on this, saying you failed to make court appearances, we issued you a subpoena, trying to? You think their state is being disingenuous with the jury about Miss Holmes' actions and intentions?
As far as the subpoena goes, I have yet to see a valid subpoena that was served upon Miss Holmes to be a witness or to be a deponent before the trial began, of course. So, and I haven't seen one for Miss Hamilton as well. It is true that neither witness wanted to appear, but I had arranged for them to do so in order to vacate the arrest order and for them to give the basic information that they had to give.
Why did they not want to appear? Because if they had information about what might have happened that night, why wouldn't they want to testify about it?
Well, they were threatened early on by the police with arrest for some charge related to this homicide, and that threat was never addressed in court that day. We never got to it because the arrest order hadn't been vacated, and my witnesses would not appear without that. That was the condition, again, of them appearing that day. Mm-hmm. So they felt that they were in constant threat of arrest. If they were to come, they were going to be arrested. If they were to say anything, they were going to be arrested.
Right. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. There was a point in this cross, and I want to play you this. It wasn't even cross-examination. It was just direct examination by the state, where prosecutors were insinuating that Miss Holmes and Miss Hamilton were promised to be financially taken care of by YNW Melly and his team, and maybe Miss Holmes was upset when that didn't come to fruition. I want to play that right now and get your thoughts.
So, Miss Holmes, is it your statement, testimony, that you never stated the promises that were made to us by YNW for me to quit my job and they would take care of us for all lies? They didn't want us talking with prosecutors, but now they've all disappeared. You never said that before.
I don't remember saying anything like that.
Objection, Your Honor. Move for a mistrial.
Thank you.
What'd you make of that, sir?
Again, if Miss Bradley had a factual basis for asking that, okay. I don't know anything about any financial offers, financial gain. I've known Miss Holmes and Miss Hamilton for a couple of years now. I don't have any evidence of that myself. I haven't seen anything like that.
Okay. Talk about Miss Hamilton. Do you think she's going to testify, or will she be called to testify?
Again, I don't know that she received a subpoena.
Yeah.
Also, I mentioned the threats that were made to her as a juvenile at the age of 17 by Detective Moretti. Moreover, the prosecutor has yet to ask the judge to vacate his arrest order for Miss Hamilton. That could happen. Miss Bradley wanted it to happen. She can ask tomorrow, or not literally tomorrow, but in court when court resumes.
What would she testify to if she was called to the stand?
I don't know what questions they would ask her. I imagine they would ask her similar to Miss Holmes, about the phone call that was received or in the early morning hours of this killing. I suppose she can testify to that.
They gonna ask about the Snapchat phone call. Even the fact that I think Melly had sent a message about something like, oh, I shouldn't have did something. It was something along the line, if y'all know the message I'm talking about, send it. Yeah, it's a lot of questions they gonna specifically ask her. That's why I feel like they haven't brought her up yet. They waiting to bring her to the nitty gritty. They want her towards the end. Cause like this is the person who was specifically got a text message from Melly. You feel me? Or who they believe to be was Melly. Yeah, so they just waiting till, okay, y'all want to play this game? Get your girlfriend up here. All right, shorty, what happened? Why he sent you this on Snapchat? What you feel me?
Beyond that, I don't know what else they would ask her, or if it would be something that she could testify about. Miss Hamilton is still under threat of arrest. There's a bench warrant for her arrest. I don't understand how difficult it is or would be to find her, to testify. I'm not a policeman. I don't have any investigatory, means, but, it seems that if the state wanted to find her, they could. And, it's possible that she does have exculpatory information that she could offer in this case.
And by that, you mean evidence that would exonerate, that would show that that YNW Melly did not commit this crime.
Yes, exactly.
And again, is there any indication why you believe she might have that evidence? Because you're saying it seems like the state is reluctant to call her, maybe because they feel that she has information that wouldn't be good for their case, even though it's their duty under the law. If they see exculpatory information, they have to turn it over.
My understanding, what happened is after the shooting incident, Miss Hamilton and Miss Holmes both went to South Florida to see Melly and also to see some other people there who were with Melly at the time, including the co-defendant. I believe he was there. I can't remember exactly if he was there when they got there or not, but basically after that, Miss Hamilton spent a significant amount of time with Mr. Demons, okay? And also she had a chance to talk with him and also the co-defendant, who's also, not going to testify, in my opinion, at this trial, okay? So what she could offer, it was never really explored because of these threats. And I'm talking about threats from law enforcement and from the prosecution, not from the defense attorneys.
Defense attorneys, from as far as you know, his defense counsel didn't interview Miss Hamilton.
No, that's correct. As far as I know, he's never met Miss Hamilton, never spoken with her, interviewed her, deposed her. But he couldn't, again, because of the threat of arrest that was made to her and never revoked, so to speak. And the arrest warrant that was issued, which also was never vacated. So I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but it's tricky because on the one hand, they want this witness to come. I think they want the witness to come and testify, but maybe they don't want her to testify about all the truth, and they've scared her off away from that by these threats of arrest.
And is there anything more you can tell us about that FaceTime call? The call that YNW Melly allegedly made to your client on the night of the shooting. That seems to be the crux of it, that he called her after the shooting.
I don't know if that was Melly talking on the phone. I don't know whether it was Bortland talking. I think that needed to be explored. I think Miss Holmes was in the house those early morning hours with Miss Hamilton, and I think Miss Holmes was just saying what she overheard.
This is everywhere.
I think she testified that she saw Melly there, but I don't know whether the voice that whoever called her was actually Melly or it was someone else.
Well, she was keen to say she doesn't remember what really went down or what she told law enforcement. I think that was the source of the controversy of Miss Holmes' testimony.
Okay. I understand that. I think the major problem for her though was the 2018 interview by Detective Moretti, where she and her juvenile daughter, Miss Hamilton, were threatened with arrest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the major problem there.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Barris, I appreciate you taking the time. I know this is really a case that's followed by many people. You are connected to it based on your two clients. We will see if Miss Hamilton takes the stand, but
you asked me, that lawyer knows what he talking about. He definitely knows what he's talking about, and he's actually being smart as well on the girl's behalf. You feel me? But as far as him saying the reason they don't want her to go up on the stand is because it could be good evidence on Melly's side, they're gonna get her up there. That's just how I feel. She's gonna end up being up there, whether she has information that's gonna be good on Melly's side or not. They just gonna have her go up there because they ain't got no choice. They just gonna bring everything and everybody they can bring up there. And just like it was told, if there is any exculpatory evidence, you have to bring it up there. Even though we know they don't always follow the rules, but I think this is a rule they're gonna follow, hoping that it benefits them in any way, shape, or form, bro. Nah, bro, it just seems like the more we hear from other people, the more crazier the situation sounds, bro. It's like, wow, this is actually a case that's gonna really have people shocked at the end, because like we don't know what's gonna happen at all. Like, bro, I'm losing it just watching this stuff. Like, bro, what is gonna happen, bro? It's crazy, bro. But y'all, let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments below. I'm about done with that. Till we see you again, bro. I'm gonna catch y'all next video. Screw me.